Hello and welcome to your 3-minute toolkit tip. Today we're talking about the subject of branding, and we have with us an expert on the subject, Dean Ford of the Modern Agency. Welcome, Dean.
Thank you very much, Stephen.
So Dean, tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, as you already know, I'm Dean Ford. I run the creative agency. We specialise in working with startups and scale-ups. We kind of always say that we want to work with businesses with an ambition to be the best in their class. And that's a really exciting thing for me. Rather than specialising in a particular industry, we like to specialise with entrepreneurs, people that actually want to make a difference and have a great business idea behind them.
Hence why you work with us.
Absolutely.
And of course, I should say, so Dean is responsible both for the Stephen Spencer & Associates branding and also the Innovation Toolkit branding. So two shining examples of your work. So Dean, we're talking about branding. What is branding?
Well, there seems to be a lot of confusion between some people about what it is. It's certainly not about just sticking a logo on something. And indeed, it's a lot more than the logo itself. Of course, that extends out to the colours that you use and typefaces and all that kind of visual stuff. But it actually does run a lot deeper than that. So, it's about the tone of voice. It's about how you actually engage with your audience. It's the personality of your business or your organisation. And I think having a clear brand, that's always the foundation that every piece of marketing, every piece of communication is built on, that then communicates with your target audience. It builds loyalty with them, and it as well as obviously making sales, which is the bottom line of what every business should be wanting to achieve.
Literally, yes. And why is branding important for customers and businesses right now?
Well, as I say, branding is the foundation of everything for the way that your business is perceived by its target audience. For example, Coca-Cola is just brown fizzy water without any kind of brand. It means nothing. But they've been obviously one of the most successful brands in the universe for many, many years. And I think, that is kind of fundamental way of thinking, that it's your personality. You're designing something that is the way that you're going to be perceived by your target audience, by your existing customers as well. And the way that is then communicated across all types of media, right down to actually, the staff on the shop floor.
Yeah. So how do businesses get return on investment from investing in their brand strategy? Because that's obviously a question for every business.
Of course, yeah. Well, it is said by many people, not least of all Daniel Priestley, who you may be familiar with, that brands need to be seen in 11 different touch points before they're really recognised by their target audience. And when you think about that, those 11 places, that could be online, that could be on a billboard, it could be on a shop front, it could be on a leaflet, a business card, many different places that you're going to be seen. Obviously, social media, a very important one these days as well. And so consistency is really key in the way that you're presented. Obviously, once you've got that message right, actually then being consistent with it and rolling out across all these different areas. The return on investment then is kind of apparent because you're actually getting the sales. People are clicking through on social media because they recognize it. They're going to your website because they recognize it, they identify with your brand. And so, that's the way to build a loyal audience. One of the things that I often think about is with brands, I'm sure all of us will have certain brands in mind for different products or services, even if we have no need for them. We think that, well, okay, if I ever wanted to buy a luxury car, it would really be a Bentley. I might not be in the position right now, but actually, one day I will be. And that is the seed that's in your mind, that you really identify with that brand. And so then when you are ready to make that purchase, they're top of mind. That's what you want. You identify with that. Nobody else can really compete. And that's the position that we want our clients to be in when we work with them. We want to be that go-to thing for their target audience. And that could be incredibly niche. It could be very specific about who these people are and what their aspirations are, the kind of media that they consume and the kind of products that they buy.
Absolutely. Well, I'm with you on the Bentley anyway. Give us your 3 top tips then for businesses that either want to refresh their brand or revisit their brand, or just to have a successful brand strategy?
Okay, so 3 top tips. Well, I think the first one is first impressions count. Make a good first impression. You know, it needs to be impactful. You need to get noticed, first of all. So the second point is then to really sustain that, you know, keep on the consistency, you know, constantly engage with your target audience. You know, this is broader marketing as much as it is branding. But, you know, in many senses, they're very similar. And then the third one would be to, as a business, deliver on your promises and then let people know. You know, let people know through your marketing. Get social proof of that as well. Get testimonials. You know, get people to spread word of mouth. These are just the important things to really build a brand. And of course, number 4, work with a great agency like ourselves.
Of course, yes. Well, there we go. We give added value, 4 top tips rather than just 3. And in summary, I think, you know, the quote from Daniel Priestley is fantastic. You know, 11, I guess, meaningful interactions with a brand, and I guess the first one is your first impression, isn't it? And then thereafter, sustaining it, being consistent, and then finally deliver on your promises, because obviously you can talk a good game, but it's what you actually deliver. I think we know that the way people actually find out about and decide on a brand is based so much more on word of mouth now than it ever was.
Absolutely. So word of mouth through social media as well. You know, it's not always just about face-to-face. Social media sharing, you know, links to websites, these are all really fundamental things in actually, you know, spreading the word. And getting people to believe in your brand. And to do that, it's not just got to look good, it's actually got to perform.
Definitely. Well, Dean, that's been fantastic. That's been our 3-minute toolkit tip plus bonus minutes and tips. So just finally, let people know how they can find you out
Absolutely.
there.
So, well, you can find me on LinkedIn. As for the Modern Agency, we're online at themodern.agency, and Instagram's a good place to find us as well, at themodern.agency.
Thank you very much. Well, it's been great talking to you, albeit brief, but just as exciting and invigorating and educational for that. Thank you very much, Dean. That's our 3-minute toolkit tip, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.